from coffee to romance. How to approach women in Cebu City. A tip for an age gap relationship. Secrets to meeting educated Filipinas after dark.
We're going to get granular right now, and we're going to tell you how to work the night shift workers, the call center workers with the great English.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Fly Me to the Philippines.
Today, Chrissy, it's what everybody is always asking for. Everybody seems to want to come to Cebu City, meet those call center girls. We have some big news. We have some exciting content. 10 chapters to understand how to maximize your opportunity. Cebu City IT Park done right. We're going to talk specifically how to meet these women. They're working the night shift. They go to work at 8 o'clock. They leave at 4 a.m. The bulk of these women are in call centers. A lot of them speak perfect English. They're on the phone 10 hours a day with a lot of angry customers in the West because their cell phone got cut off or whatever. And how do you meet them? Because, you know, you're a Westerner, you're there in Avida Tower like we recommend. Where do you go? What time do you go? We have a whole chapter on that. Stay tuned. We're going to show that as the 11th bonus chapter. We have a free ebook that's a companion to this video for absolutely no obligation, totally free. What do they have to do, Chrissy?
All they have to do is subscribe, like, and email us at flymetothephilippines@gmail.com. Send us a message and tell us that you subscribed and put Cebu City IT Park as a subject of your email.
And we will send you this free ebook with 10 chapters and a bonus chapter on how to work the nighttime call center girls, how to meet them, where to go, which restaurants, which coffee shops, which times of day for each of these locations are in this book. And we have 10 chapters before we get to that. Let's go to the first chapter. I hear the food is really good in the IT park. Can you recommend a place for me to eat?
Sir, I would recommend Cebu Night Market.
Thanks for recommending that. Would you want to come with me? I'd be happy to buy you dinner.
Oops, let me check my time. Oh, I still have half hour, sure.
Oh, you're out and about. You see a beautiful Filipina. Sometimes they're with friends. You need the gift of gab. We include 30 pickup lines in chapter 1 of the ebook. Mm-hmm. Now, this ebook and this video. Now, I know most of you prefer to get your information on YouTube, and we're going to go through it in some granular detail. The ebook is to supplement, but it's a companion to another ebook that we have called How to Win Online. It's 100 questions for video chats, but when you're doing boots on the ground, these same questions, once you sit down for coffee, once you sit down to dinner, you can talk about your love language, you can talk about the color personality, you can do Dr. Annan's 36 questions in person. It's just not an online tool. And we have a video that has over 100,000 views, and it talks about a 30-day itinerary and budget in Cebu City. If you don't already have How to Win Online PDF, and there's another one called the Essential 5 that I'll send you as well for free. So now, chapter 1, 30 pickup lines. We're not going to go through all of them here, but thank you for joining me for dinner. What do you think? Do you think pickup lines work?
It works here in the Philippines. Actually, Filipinas are also good in pickup lines, if you don't know.
You know, you always say they should ask, where's the Jollibees? And if they don't point, they're interested.
Yeah. I think you can improvise asking about places, asking about some details of the place you don't know. Even if you know, you can't pretend you don't know, just to have a first step of asking a Filipino question.
Yeah. Ground zero is the Avida Towers condos, and you're right across the street from Cebu Night Market. You're 100 meters away from the supermarket under Ayala Central Block Mall. You're across the street from the bus station. Behind the mall are streets of restaurants and coffee shops. The U.S. consulate is walking distance from Avida Towers. So that's, and the traffic's terrible in Cebu City, but once you get to the IT park, the sidewalks are not buckled. The utility lines don't look like spaghetti. There's no trikes allowed. There's not a bunch of dogs and roosters running around. It's a pretty darn good place. You can kind of set up shop. I always recommend, if you don't have a Filipina and you're going to do boots on the ground, go there for 5 to 7 days. Maybe don't even book your next destinations, because you might meet somebody, you might want to travel with somebody. Or if you want tourism, you could book after a week or 5 days and do a little touring. So Chapter 2 is all about the IT park. the Central Block Mall, the Concentrics office buildings, the other back office operations office buildings, what time of day you want. This is a daytime guide. We're going to do the nighttime guide in Chapter 11. But we're going to tell you which restaurants, which coffee shops, where do the girls that work at Concentrics hang out? And that's Chapter 2. We get granular and we talk about the IT park. It's a very pleasant experience there. And, just a mile away is Ayala Center. Now, that previously has been where a lot of guys have gone, and they expect that when they're there, women are just going to walk up to them. But it really doesn't work that way. I suppose if you're super handsome, it might. And out on the terraces by Bo's Coffee is a spot where a lot of expats will hang out and try and meet women on the terraces. There are expats who kind of get together at Bo's in Ayala Center Mall, which is not the same as the Ayala Central Block. We went to Cebu City just 5 months ago, and we made a video called "We Didn't Like Cebu City Until We Found This." And we stayed in the Vita Towers, and we got some real first-hand experience here.
Yeah.
But combined with our consulting clients and a lot of research, we've got the goods for you today.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? In the IT park, number one thing that Rob noticed there is that women there are pretty.
I found the women, some people say the further south you get in the Philippines, the prettier the women get. I think actually the women have jobs. They make an average of $500 a month, maybe US dollars. They can afford makeup and lipstick and earrings, and they put a little color in their hair sometimes, and they cut their styles of their hair, and they just kind of look more sophisticated, educated and sophisticated, and they carry themselves with a lot of confidence. Cebu City in general is 2.3 million. It's tied for Davao with the second biggest. So, Chapter 3. Top tourist destinations for meeting women. Now you're in Cebu, one of the great day trips you can take, one of the most popular, to swim with the whale sharks and go see the famous waterfall in southern Cebu. It costs about $35. It's a full 12-hour day, but you can go on Klook, Klook. It's an app and you can book excursions. They also have nonstop flights right into El Nido on Palawan. It is spectacular. You can fly Air Swift directly into El Nido. You'll land 5 minutes from downtown. None of that going to Puerto Princesa. So we have Chapter 3. We're going to talk to you about some of the top tourist destinations. Here in the Philippines, people want to go to El Nido or Boracay. El Nido is quite spectacular. I put it on par with Ha Long Bay in Vietnam.
Is it included in the book that if they're going to be dating an IT woman, their workload might be full?
We have a whole nother chapter on that. Funny you should mention it, Chrissy. Chapter 4, is she available to be your partner? And what about meeting her family? In a perfect world, you'd like to meet a woman who is smart, educated, and has a job. Now, here in the Philippines, Chrissy, tell us about this 6-month contracts. Why so many women are unemployed because they have these 6-month contracts?
Because if you apply for a job, you will get accepted. But of course, you will undergo some training and they will test you if you're good at your work. So they will give you a 6-month or 8 months contract.
Many businesses just lay everyone off because they become permanent employees, and you can't fire them without putting 3 formal letters in their file, and you have to pay them regular wages, and you can't charge them for their uniforms anymore. So there are a lot. There's a lot of really smart, dedicated employees every 6 months, or maybe they come home from cruise ships on 8-month assignments. So there are a lot of women that are out and about. Do you go and meet her parents?
If she's the kind of woman that is, she got a lot of liberty for herself. She doesn't need any permission from parents. Then maybe she will go with you without confirming it from the parents yet.
So, Chrissy, I always recommend if you strike out online, you come with your online tools still working and try and set up coffee dates and send grab cars to pick the women up. One of our clients who is in Cebu City, he told us that he's having a lot of luck online while he's in Cebu City IT Park. He hasn't quite figured out to be at the Cebu night market at 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., but he's meeting a lot of girls online. He's sending grabs to meet them, and he's having some luck in that area, even though he's doing the boots on the ground. So why not work a hybrid? What do you think about that, Chrissy?
Yeah, because, women here in the Philippines, they like to go online, even they're already in the big city, or IT workers that will search men online. So I think if you're going to approach a woman, and then, for her, it's kind of like abrupt and an impromptu approach. So, I think there's a lot of women that will prefer online.
What should they say? Should they say, I've been to Thailand, I came to meet a woman in Manila, and the relationship blew up? You would probably say they should be honest, but is it really in their best interest to be totally transparent?
Not in the first 3 days, I think. I think you have to build a really good connection first and, gain her trust before you will become too honest about that personal private stuff that you've been.
And Chrissy, if a man meets a woman and he spends 3 to 5 days with her, what are the chances she's going to break into his cell phone?
Well, Filipinas who break into your cell phones after 5 days, it's not a good
look.
Not a good look,
But it's a 50-50 in the first 5 days?
I don't think so. I think Filipina will try to ask you details about your personal stuff on your phone when there's already like a little bit cemented relationship there.
So maybe cleanse your Facebook account, get rid of Asian female friends, or if you've been to Thailand and you made friends on Facebook.
If you're all in.
Yeah, if you're all in with this woman, you need to make sure your Facebook, because she's going to go through your Facebook with a fine-tooth comb. The way Chrissy does these social media investigations for our clients who, they've passed stage 1 where she hasn't asked for money. She doesn't have bad jealousy. She doesn't throw tompo on the video chats. Now they want to know, let's do a background check. And that's why they're always calling Chrissy. And we have a coupon for that service. If you email us and ask for the coupon code, we'll share that with you. We'll go on all the different social medias and do facial recognition, do other things as well. Chapter 6, Chrissy, meeting highly educated Filipinas. Men want to meet nurses, and for the life of them, they can't figure out, if they don't break a leg, they can't figure out how to meet nurses. And we've done quite a bit of research. And in Chapter 6, we talk about how to meet women with IT degrees, information technology degrees, not call center women, and nurses. And where are the major hospitals, and where are the major nursing universities, and where are the major IT jobs, and where are the lunch spots and coffee shops and the after work watering holes. What do you think?
If you want to find a really highly educated woman, there's also like a thing that you need to watch out about it, because they will tend to be more independent, and because they're well educated, they have high confidence of themselves, and they can be a little bit
more
picky.
High maintenance, huh? Yeah.
Picky.
Well, it's a good advice. Good advice.
Now in Chapter 7, we talk about how to dress and behave in the Philippines.
Yeah, I always say people don't wear clothes in the Philippines, but they don't really walk around naked.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
So here in the Philippines, we find a man really, really formal. If, like, for example, this polo is like button up, like there's only one button that is not closed. Because if you're gonna open like 3 buttons up here, for us, it's kind of like look like drunk people here. I told you about it, right?
What about facial hair? Clean shaven or no?
If you have your beard, I think just trim it
short. Yeah.
And have proper hygiene. Yeah. That's it.
And it's so hot here, but if you do have long pants on, you do have a much smarter look, don't you?
I think if you're gonna go to a proper date, dinner date, you can wear formal. But if it's just like a coffee, you can wear shorts and t-shirts and, just proper, be a gentleman looking. That's it.
And what about being loud and boisterous and overly aggressive when you're around women?
We're scared of it.
You're scared.
We're scared of over-aggressive.
And why do Filipino women always cover their mouths when you first approach them?
Because maybe they have, dental problems, or they're very, shy. And when we're shy, we're like covering our mouth. We're not confident of showing our teeth or our mouth talking, something like that.
Now, in America, where I'm from, when we go on a date or we sit down at a restaurant or a coffee shop, we are like overly friendly to the waitress or the waiter, and we're showing the person we just met that we're a gentleman and we're gracious. How does that go over here with a person in the Philippines?
It could affect the woman's confidence about you, because she may think that you're treating her like that, but it's not really a special treat to her, because you are like that to everyone, so it's nothing special with it.
Yeah. To all the viewers out there who are dating or married to Filipinas, give me a comment below. Tell me, does your wife encourage you not to chat up the cashiers and not to chat up the waitresses because they'll take it the wrong way? They'll think that you're interested in them when you're doing what you would do at home, just being gracious.
The other word of that is being over-friendly to other women.
Yeah. Chrissy, Chapter 8, we talk about what attracts younger women to older men. I'm an older man. What attracted you to me?
For me, personally, I find them the one that wants to settle down rather than fooling around.
And in Chapter 8, we talk about what turns off younger women about older men. We talk about how to really gain their trust and attract them. And if you're going to be boots on the ground, it's not only do you need to know how to dress, but you have to have your confidence and your way about you, and not just good pickup lines.
Chapter 9, we talk about how to navigate long-distance relationship. If you've been to the IT park in Cebu City or wherever part of the Philippines and you succeed in your goal of meeting Filipinas, you are going to experience the long-distance relationship, of course.
And this is not an LDR where you haven't met the person yet. You've been to Cebu City. You took the advice that Chrissy has integrated into this book. You've met a Filipina. Maybe you went to El Nido. Maybe you went to Panglao. You've had the honeymoon before the marriage, but you got to go back home and sell your car or maybe begin a visa for your girl. Mm-hmm. And now it's a real LDR, not one where you haven't met the person and there's all this anticipation. If you really love that person, you really want to be with that person, it's really, really difficult.
Yes, and honestly speaking, your connection to your Filipina will tend to be so much different when you're in person and in online only.
You have to establish expectations. You have to build trust. And we're always talking about good communication. Mm-hmm. So you can't be too suspicious. You can't be too jealous. You can't throw tombo at your boyfriend. And you as the boyfriend, you got to communicate good too. You can't go dark just because you're at a business meeting. You can't claim you don't have time to text. Chapter 10 talks about how to plan a future together with a Filipina. And you've got a couple of options, but it's very important, Chrissy, they know the chances of you getting a tourist visa for your Filipina are slim and none. Mm-hmm. Now, every now and then, I had a client, he met a banker in her 40s, and she owned a car and 2 condos in the big city, and she'd been to New York on a tour for a business conference, and she had a 10-year tourist visa, and she made really good money. So he'd like ding, 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 ding. But for the average man, it's really rare. And if I try and get you a tourist visa, there's only a 26% chance. We're married. Mm-hmm. Married American men, 26% of their Filipinas get approved for a tourist visa. Yeah. Now, your option is a K1 visa or a K2 if they have children, or you come to the Philippines, the second trip or the third trip, you get married here in the Philippines. It takes about 18 months for the spousal visa. It takes about 12 months for the K1 visa. When you do the K1, it's that 90-day fiancé visa. You don't have to marry her the day she lands in America. You can see whether she goes psycho.
I think in that stage of your relationship that it is very important that you will be in the same page of your future plans. Like if she's okay, she agree with your plans. Like if your plan is to settle down here in the Philippines and she said, okay, that's fine, make sure it's really fine. And if your plan is to bring her to America but you don't want her to work, when she said that's fine, I will not work, make sure that she's really fine about it, because in the future it will create a really big problem.
Yeah, what about having children? Did you meet a single woman? She's 27. She says, oh, I love you. I'll do whatever you say. If you don't want children, that's okay with me. 2 years later, that's really a big part of managing expectations. What about you? Did you ever have a problem managing expectations? Did you ever break up with a Filipina because she said one thing and then acted a different way after 6 months when it came to having children, or her career, or she decided she didn't want to live in the Philippines, or she decided she didn't want to live in Canada? Comment below. Chapter 11 is the bonus chapter.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, and we teased this. We told you this is the clients we have who've been to the IT park before, they've kind of struggled with this. And I've asked them to go into the baristas and ask the vendors and ask the other people, when are the night shift workers there? And we're going to get granular right now, and we're going to tell you how to work the night shift workers, the call center workers with the great English. Here we go. The shifts begin at 8 p.m. at the big call centers. Mm-hmm. They will get together at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. with their mates, or if they need shopping to pick up some cosmetics or some small supplies they can bring with them to work, they might be in the mall at that time. They'll arrive early for food or coffee. And what are the best places to meet them? Now, you always say Jollibee. The best spots: 7-Eleven, IT Park branch, affordable snacks. Jollibee, IT Park. The women who start work at 8 o'clock, their first break, midnight to 1 a.m. The Avita Towers, where we recommend you get a condo, is directly across the street from the Cebu night market. So 11 to 1 a.m., that is prime time for the night shift workers, for the call center girls with the great English, And you could see it right out our window when we were in that Avita Tower.
Yeah, but will you stay up late to meet them?
Well, I mean, how motivated are you? If you really want to meet these girls, you got to be there when the prospects are there. So you got to get on a night shift schedule a little bit if you want to maximize your time, okay? And it's prime time, 11 p.m. So it's 6:30 to 7:30, Jollibee's, 7-Eleven, coffee shops, the mall, Central Block Mall, and the bus station area. They're all coming and going in the bus station. Yeah. It's very busy. In the IT park, that's a very good place to look for night shift workers. And there's a Bo's Coffee, and it's open until 2 a.m. So there'll be girls coming in and out of Bo's Coffee on what would be a normal lunch break, but it'd be from 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. The night shift workers take a second break at their prime time, and not everybody works the same shift, but 3 a.m., between 3 and 4 a.m., they're going to come out for a coffee break. They're going to come out and buy coffee for friends. They'll come out and get some fresh air. There's a mini stop in the IT park. It's open 24/7. And then IT Park has walking streets where the workers stroll around outside. When the shift ends, now I years ago spoke to a call center girl for about a month, and she told me like 5 days a week, when the shift ended, her and 5 of her friends went out to a coffee shop and had breakfast, and they would hang out for an hour and a half to 2 hours before they went home. So they'd get off work at 4, maybe if they had overtime, they'd be 5:36, but they never went home. 5 of these girls and maybe one guy, they would go to this coffee shop, have a very cheap breakfast, drink coffee, and they would talk about the nasty customers they had to deal with all night on the phone for Sprint and Verizon, things like that. Larcian Barbecue, Fuente Circle, very popular. Open early for grilled skewers, 100 to 200 pesos. You have Starbucks and then Metro Supermarket. We mentioned before, it's underneath the mall. There were so many age gap couples, so many beautiful Filipinas in the supermarket. I think it's a great place to ask for help, finding an item or how to make a recipe. Ask if you can buy them coffee. Be polite. Use some of those pickup lines that aren't too corny. And see if they're willing to socialize with you. They've worked all night. They don't really want to go home at 5 a.m. It's hard for them to adapt and have a social life. And there you are. I always say when you see a foreigner, it's like running into a member of the Swedish bikini team in America, or a Victoria's Secret model wearing her wings at the mall, like right there at Starbucks, like saying, "Hello, can I buy you a cup of coffee?" Well, I've always wanted to meet an American man or a Canadian man, and okay, I'll let you buy me a cup of coffee. I've just worked all night, and I don't want to spend my own money. And that, Chrissy, you always say if they don't just brush you off right away, or if they ask you, where's your wife, where's your girlfriend, what does that mean?
She's available.
She's available. She's interested in you. And you have to believe that if she's available and open to meeting you, she will ask you a question. She might ask you, where's your wife? Where's your girlfriend? Where did you come from? Which country did you come from? How long are you here? She'll make a little conversation with you. And at that point, it's like, hey, can I buy you dinner? Can I buy you breakfast? Can I buy you coffee? And away you go. Be confident. You are the Swedish bikini model here in the Philippines, and they are going to be taken back that you're there. The online experience involves a lot of scammers, a lot of requests for money. Now, when you meet in person, after you get to know somebody, you're going to get a lot of requests for money also. So I don't think you're immune from that. And we met online, but we hear from a large percentage of men. And we did a survey where 60% of 300 respondents met online and 40% met boots on the ground. And there are just some people, they've heard about all the scammers there, they've met a few scammers, and they just don't want any part of the online. And they probably won't even use their online tool while they're attempting boots on the ground. So this ebook, the Cebu City IT Park, How to Maximize Your Boots on the Ground Experience in Cebu City, Meet a Filipina, is for you. And Chrissy, we have some big news coming up before we go. Chrissy, I am about to publish a comprehensive book. Tentatively, we've titled it The Ultimate Guide for Middle-Aged Men Traveling to the Philippines. This book is going to have 20 chapters and over 40 addendums, and will be approximately 200 pages. And it is going to be the A to Z. We're not ready to send it out to you, and we're not ready to take reservations, but it's coming soon. We are going to create a community page And we're also going to have a Patreon account, which we've never done any promotion. We've never taken any advertising. Coming soon, we're going to make that book available to our consulting clients. And it won't be a free ebook like these others. So take advantage of this book on the Cebu City IT Park. What should they do, Chrissy?
Again, they just have to subscribe, like, and email us at flymetothephilippines@gmail.com. Put Cebu IT Park as subject.
And I'll send you the Cebu City IT Park, and I'll send you How to Win Online if you haven't received it, and another ebook, a 56-page ebook, The 5 Essentials of the Philippines. Stay tuned for the comprehensive guide to the Philippines coming up in the next week or two. Until next time.
Only here from Fly Me to the Philippines. See you in our next video.